The rain hammered against the windows of our cozy Seattle home, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. I'm Quentin, 46, an IT specialist, and until recently I thought I had the perfect life. My wife Leonie and I had been married for 18 years. We had two wonderful kids, a comfortable home, and a life that on the surface seemed idyllic. But beneath the surface, something was terribly wrong. It started subtly. Leonie, who had always been warm and affectionate, began to pull away. Her hugs became perfunctory, her kisses fleeting. She started working late more often, claiming deadlines at the law firm where she was a paralegal. I didn't suspect anything at first. I trusted her implicitly. Leonie was my rock, my confidant, the woman I had built my life with. However, a nagging feeling persisted. I noticed she was spending an inordinate amount of time on her phone, always angled away from me, her fingers flying across the screen. When I entered the room, she'd quickly minimize the app or turn off the screen altogether. I tried to brush it off as work-related, but the unease grew stronger. One evening, Leonie said she had to attend a mandatory conference in Portland. It was a Friday, and she wouldn't be back until Sunday evening. I helped her pack, noticing a new silk scarf I hadn't seen before. "Oh, that. A gift from my colleague, Yancy," she said casually. "He knows I love silk." Yancy. The name stuck in my head like a splinter. I'd met Yancy once at a company picnic. He was charming, handsome, and undeniably flirtatious. I dismissed it at the time, but now the memory felt different, tainted with suspicion. After Leonie left, the house felt eerily quiet. I tried to distract myself with work and spending time with the kids, but my mind kept drifting back to Leonie and Yancy. The scarf, the late nights, the secretive phone calls. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. That Saturday morning, I decided to do something I'd never done before. I snooped. I know it was wrong, a violation of her privacy, but I couldn't ignore the gnawing suspicion any longer. I waited until the kids were occupied with a movie, then I went into our bedroom and opened Leonie's closet. I started with her purse, rifling through receipts and papers. Nothing. Then I checked her drawers, carefully folding everything back exactly as I found it. Still nothing. Defeated, I was about to give up when I noticed a small, locked box tucked away in the corner of the closet. It was a cheap plastic thing, the kind you might buy at a drugstore. My heart pounded in my chest. What was she hiding? I tried to open it, but it was locked tight. I considered smashing it open, but I didn't want to risk damaging whatever was inside. Instead, I grabbed a small screwdriver from my toolbox and carefully picked the lock. It took me a few minutes, my hands shaking with nerves, but finally the lock clicked open. Inside the box, I found a stack of letters, tied together with a ribbon. My hands trembled as I untied the ribbon and began to read. The letters were from Yancy. They were explicit, passionate, and filled with details about their affair. My world tilted on its axis. The words blurred before my eyes, each sentence a fresh stab wound to my heart. "My dearest Leonie," one letter began, "I can't wait until our weekend in Portland. Just the two of us, finally alone. I'm counting down the hours until I can hold you in my arms again." Another letter described a romantic dinner they had shared, complete with details I didn't need to know. "The way you looked at me across the table, I knew then that this was more than just a fling. We're meant to be together, Leonie. We're soulmates, soulmates." The word echoed in my head, mocking me. I read on, each letter confirming my worst fears. Leonie and Yancy had been having an affair for months, meeting in secret, exchanging intimate messages, and planning a future together. The room spun. I felt sick, betrayed, and utterly devastated. How could she do this to me, to us? To our family? I sank to the floor, the letters scattered around me like fallen leaves. Tears streamed down my face, hot and bitter. I couldn't breathe. My chest felt like it was being crushed by a giant weight. The pain was unbearable, a gaping hole torn through my heart. I spent the rest of the day in a daze, replaying the letters in my mind, trying to make sense of it all. How could the woman I loved, the woman I trusted completely, betray me in such a cruel and callous way? That evening, the kids sensed something was wrong. "Daddy, are you okay?" my daughter Brant asked, her voice filled with concern. I forced a smile. "I am fine, sweetie. Just a little tired." I couldn't tell them the truth, not yet. They were too young to understand the complexities of betrayal and infidelity. I needed to protect them, to shield them from the pain that was consuming me. When Leonie returned on Sunday evening, she seemed genuinely happy to see us. She hugged the kids tightly, then turned to me with a bright smile. "I missed you all so much," she said. I stared at her, my heart filled with a mixture of rage and sorrow. How could she stand there pretending everything was normal after what she had done? "I need to talk to you," I said, my voice trembling. Leonie's smile faltered. "What's wrong?" "I know about Yancy," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I know about the affair." Her face paled. She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. "I found the letters, Leonie," I continued, my voice rising. "I read everything. How could you do this to me? To us?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "Quentin, I can explain." Explain how you could betray me, lie to me, and stab me in the back. Explain how you could jeopardize our family for a cheap fling with some two-bit lawyer. It's not like that," she said, her voice cracking. "It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. It just happened," I repeated, incredulous. "You didn't mean for it to go this far. You wrote love letters, planned secret getaways, and told him you were soulmates. How much further did you plan on taking it, Leonie?" She started to cry, her shoulders shaking. "I'm so sorry, Quentin. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did hurt me, Leonie," I said, my voice filled with pain. "You shattered my heart, destroyed my trust, and ruined everything we had." "I know," she sobbed. "And I'll do anything to fix it. Please, Quentin, give me another chance." I looked at her, her face streaked with tears, her eyes filled with remorse. Part of me wanted to believe her, to forgive her, to salvage what was left of our marriage. But the other part of me, the part that had been betrayed and wounded, knew that it could never be the same. "I can't, Leonie," I said, my voice firm. "I can't forgive you. I can't forget what you've done." Her tears flowed faster. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying that I want a divorce," I said, the words heavy with finality. Leonie gasped, her eyes wide with shock. "No, Quentin, please don't do this. We can work through this. We have to for the kids. The kids will be better off with two happy parents than with two miserable ones," I said. "And I can't be happy with you anymore, Leonie. Not after what you've done." The next few weeks were a blur of lawyers, paperwork, and tense conversations. Leonie begged me to reconsider, promising to end the affair and do whatever it took to win me back. But my mind was made up. The trust was broken, and I couldn't see a way forward. The divorce was finalized a few months later. It was a painful and difficult process, but I knew it was the right decision. I moved into a small apartment downtown, closer to my office. The kids stayed with Leonie during the week and came to my place on weekends. I tried to focus on my work and my children, but the pain of the betrayal lingered. I felt like a failure, a fool who had been blind to his wife's infidelity. I questioned everything I thought I knew about love and marriage. One day, a few months after the divorce, I received an unexpected phone call. It was from a woman named marital. "I'm Yancy's wife," she said, her voice trembling. "I need to talk to you. We met at a coffee shop near my office." Marital was a petite woman with kind eyes and a weary expression. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "I found out about the affair a few weeks ago," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Someone sent me anonymous emails with copies of the letters Yancy wrote to Leonie." I nodded, feeling a pang of sympathy for her. She was going through the same pain I had experienced, the same sense of betrayal and devastation. "I confronted Yancy and he admitted everything," she continued. "He said it was a mistake, that he loved me and wanted to make things right, but I can't forgive him, not after what he's done." "I understand," I said. "It's not easy." Marital took a deep breath. "I'm telling you all this because I wanted you to know that you're not alone. And also I wanted to thank me. For what? For being honest with Leonie," she said. "For not letting her get away with it. Yancy has always been a womanizer, but I was too blind to see it. Your divorce was a wake-up call for me. It gave me the courage to leave him." I was surprised by her words. I hadn't thought of my divorce as an act of courage, but maybe it was. Maybe it was a way of standing up for myself, of refusing to accept a life of lies and deceit. Marital and I talked for a long time that day, sharing our stories and offering each other support. We discovered that we had a lot in common, not just our shared experience of betrayal, but also our values and our hopes for the future. Over the next few months, Marital and I became friends. We met for coffee, went to movies, and shared meals with our children. We found comfort in each other's company, a sense of camaraderie that helped us heal from our wounds. One evening, as we were walking along the Seattle waterfront, Marital turned to me and smiled. "You know, Quentin," she said, "I never thought I'd be grateful for my husband's affair, but if it hadn't happened, I never would have met you." I smiled back, feeling a warmth spread through my chest. "Me neither, Marital. Me neither. Life after Leonie wasn't easy." There were days when I missed her terribly, when I longed for the comfort and familiarity of our old life. But I knew that I had made the right decision. I had chosen honesty over deceit, integrity over betrayal, and in the process I had found something unexpected, a new friend, a new beginning, and a new hope for the future. Years later, I received an email from Leonie. She was living in another state, working as a waitress. Yancy had left her for another woman, and she was struggling to make ends meet. She apologized for the pain she had caused me and the kids and asked for my forgiveness. I didn't respond to her email. I had moved on with my life. I had found happiness with Marital, and we had built a loving and supportive family together. Leonie was a chapter in my past, a painful reminder of a betrayal I had survived. I learned a valuable lesson from that experience. That trust is a precious gift, and once it's broken, it can never be fully restored. I also learned that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a new beginning, a chance to find love and happiness again. And sometimes, the greatest betrayals can lead to the most unexpected blessings. As I sit here, watching the rain fall outside my window, I am filled with gratitude for the life I have. I am grateful for my children, for my friends, and for the love I share with Marital. And I am grateful for the strength I found within myself to overcome the pain of betrayal and create a new and better future.